السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. We thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for another opportunity to continue with our brief tafsir of the glorious Quran. So Alhamdulillah, we are still in Suratul Al-Baqarah. And Suratul Al-Baqarah, as we said, it is the second surah of the glorious Quran. And it is a surah named after, an incident that is being related in that surah, that is relating to people of Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, where there was something surrounding, a cow. But inshallah, as we said in our previous tafsir, when time comes at the appropriate place, we will discuss that inshallah at length. And Suratul Al-Baqarah, as we said, it is Surah Madaniyah. It is a Surah Madaniyah. We have the first Surah we read, which is Suratul Al-Fatiha, or we spoke on with Suratul Al-Fatiha, that is Surah Makkiyah. And we said there is, a view that it is still Madaniyah. So we can say it is a Surah that can be considered Makkiyah, Madaniyah. But in the case of Suratul Baqarah, it is a Surah Madaniyah. And it is the second surah of the glorious Quran. And last week we started the translation of the first two verses of that surah, where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alif lam mim. Dhalikal kitabu la rayba fihi. Hudan lil muttaqin." Then we translated these two verses last week. That is where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala started by, bringing what we refer to as al-hurufu al-muqatta'a. That is the mystic, letters. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows best what He meant by those letters. But some things surrounding it, we've mentioned that inshallah last week. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala went further to say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, that is the book, that is the Quran. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, Hudan, la rayba fihi, there is no doubt in it. Hudan lil muttaqin, it is a guidance for those who are righteous. As if someone asked, who are the righteous ones? Then Allah now went further in the next verse, that is verse 3, that He began to give some of the qualities of the righteous ones. He said, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنْزِلَ مِنْ قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب, that is those who are God conscious. That is the al-muttaqun, that is God who are conscious of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Allah said they are alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaybi. They are those who believe in the hidden. They believe in the hidden. Yu'minuna bil ghaybi. There are so many things Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, or mentioned by our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his noble teachings. Without us seeing them, we still believed in them. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, we don't see Him, we still believed in Him. There are things showing the presence of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, a lot of things. So virtually, when they talk about al-ghayb, that is something, hidden, yes, things you can see, you can't smell, you cannot here, you can't, feel them. So things totally hidden from you. But Allah Ta'ala mentioned them in the Quran. Take for example, the Jannah is mentioned. We didn't see the Jannah. We don't know how it looks like, but we still believe in the Jannah. The hell is been mentioned. We still believe in the hell. Or angels have been mentioned. Yes, we can see the angels. We don't see them, but we still what? Believed in them. So there are so many things Allah Ta'ala or messengers of Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran or in other books that came before the Quran, which still and we believe in those things. Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaybi. Allah Ta'ala is saying that those who are God conscious are those who believe in the hidden. Yu'minuna bil ghaybi wa yuqimuna as-salata, and they establish the prayer. You see, here Allah did not say they observe the prayer. He said they establish the prayer. And when they talk about establishing the prayer, how iqamatu salah, yes, it has to do with what? Believing in the salah, that yes, it is something commanded by Allah Ta'ala. Also, knowing how to observe them, observing it properly, observing on time, in time. Allah Ta'ala says in the verse of the Quran that inna salata, certainly the prayer, kanat ala al-mu'minina, it is being made mandatory upon the believers, kitaban mawquta, that is, it has been made mandatory upon them and it has a specific time. So the believers, they believe in the hidden, they establish the prayer. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, and they also spend judiciously out of what we've given them. So here, like in the case of iqamatul salah, there's something we need to note here. Salah, as we all might have known or might have heard, the Prophet said in the hadith that bunya al-Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is built upon 5 pillars. Shahadati an la ilaha illallah, to testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, wa iqam salah, to establish the prayer, wa ita'i zakah, to perform, to give zakah, wal hajj, and perform hajj wa sawm Ramadan, and fast in the month of Ramadan. So salah is the second pillar of Islam. And in a hadith, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that al-ahadu alladhi baynana wa baynahum as-salah, the difference or the distinction between us and them, that is the difference between we the Muslims and the non-Muslims, is what? He say as-salah, it is prayer. He say faman tarakaha, whoever leaves it, faqad kafar, have what? Denounced Islam. So there is difference between praying and establishing prayer. Not all those who pray that Allah will accept their prayer, but Allah accepts the prayers of those who establish salah. I know it may sound somehow confusing to us. All those who pray, Allah accepts some and He rejects some. And that is why in Suratul Al-Ma'un, Allah is saying, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, woe unto those who pray. So that means not everyone that prays that Allah Ta'ala accepts his prayer, his salah. And who are those that Allah Ta'ala doesn't accept their salah? He said, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ, those who are heedless of their prayers. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ, those who do for what? For eye service. So those who observe their salah sincerely for Allah's sake, observe it as commanded by the way, observe it as commanded by Allah, that is, observe it as observed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the way he says in the hadith that sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli, he say pray the way you see me praying. So if you want Allah Ta'ala to accept your prayer, what do? You pray the way the Prophet observed his salah. Taking care of the prayer time. I'm praying sincerely for the sake of Allah. You see, today, many of us pray with salah. You can be doing your things, you don't care about salah. And most especially Subh prayer and Isha prayer. These two prayers, any God conscious servant of Allah will be extremely careful with playing with these two salah. Why? Because our noble Prophet ﷺ said to us in a hadith that أثقل الصلاة على المنافقين الصبح والعشاء. Then he says لو يعلمون ما فيهما لأتوهما ولو هبوا. He said the prayer that is difficult, the prayer that is cumbersome, that is the prayer that is heavy for the munafiqun, that is for the hypocrites, is what? Subh prayer and Isha prayer. Subh prayer, that is morning prayer, and the last night prayer, that is Isha prayer. He said, had it been they knew the blessings attached to those two prayers, لَأَتَوْهُمَا وَلَوْ هَبْوَا, they will have attended the prayer even if it is what? Crawling. Most of us find it difficult waking up to observe our Subh prayer on time. You see, the Prophet did not say they don't pray. Munafiqun pray. So the Prophet did not say, he's not saying that they don't pray. He said the prayer that is difficult for them is Subh and Isha. And generally, even the life of the Munafiqun, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala mentioned in a verse of the Quran, describing their attitudes towards prayer. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, وَإِذَا قَامُوا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ, when they get up for salah, قَامُوا kusala, they get up with laziness. يُرَاءُونَ النَّاسِ, they do for eye service. وَلَا يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ, they don't remember Allah إِلَّا قَلِيلًا, except a little. So we need to begin to check ourselves. Ask yourself, how do you feel when it is time for salah? I know why I'm saying this. Everybody can judge himself. When you pray and you pray for Allah's sake, you know. And when you pray for another reason, you know. That's why the Prophet said to us in a hadith that hasibu anfusakum, judge yourselves qabla an tuhasabu, before you are being judged. That is on the day of judgment. Wazinuha, weigh your deeds in this world, qabla an tuzanu, before your deeds are being weighed for you. Then he went further to say that al-kayyisu, the wise one, is who? Man dana aw hasaba nafsa, is the one who examines, who scrutinizes himself, who judges himself, wa amila lima ba'da al-maut, and work for what comes after death. They say wal ajiz, the unwise one, the unsmart one, is who? Man atba'a nafsahu hawaha, the one who follows his selfish desire, wa tamanna ala Allahi al-amani, and then keeping false hope in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Most of us, you see that when it is time for salah, we don't care. When we are busy with some worldly things, when it is time for salah, it's like something is disturbing us. Oh, we'll be playing football, we will not be observing the weather. Or take, for example, as a good Muslim. Yes, I'm not saying it is bad to play football. Yes, you can play your football. But when you start playing your ball, let's assume, okay, you play your ball from after Asr, as it is approaching Maghrib, you should time yourself to be able to have enough time to prepare for Maghrib. So the minutes you need to prepare for Maghrib, for you not to miss your Maghrib, then you should be able to what? To stop at that time. Or we have our phones. Many of us wake up early we set our alarms to take care of other things with our phone, but we don't used to set alarm to take care of our salah. One funny thing you see with most people, somebody who wakes up very early in the morning, maybe before 5, to prepare for work. The day he is not going to the office, that day he will not wake up for salah. He will wake up late. That means he's not waking up late because he cannot wake up on time. He is waking up late because to him the job or the work is more important than salah. So if you play with Subu prayer and Isha prayer, yes, we will not say you are a munafiq, but we can categorically say that you have a sign of nifaq. That is, you have one behavior of what? Munafiqun. You know, there is difference, that is, there is distinction between somebody being a munafiq and somebody having one attitude of a munafiq. Take for example, there are attitudes or qualities of munafiqun mentioned by the Prophet. Part of it is say what? He said, "Idha haddatha kadhaba." So when you become a liar, that means you are having one quality of a munafiq. Wa idha wa'ada akhlafa. When he promises, he breaks it. Wa idha tumina khan. When something is being entrusted to him, what happens? He embezzles. That is, he betrays trust. So there are qualities of any kind of people you want to talk about. Take for instance, I used to give us example. There are qualities of kind people and there are qualities of wicked people. One of the qualities of kind people is what? They are forgiving. And one of the qualities of wicked people is that they don't forgive. So because you refuse to forgive, sometimes somebody will say you are what? Wicked. But if they are asking qualities of good people or kind people or merciful people and merciless people, there is what fits each side. Merciful people are forgiven and merciless people are what? Unforgiven. So munafiqun have their qualities and righteous servants of Allah have their qualities. One of the outstanding qualities of believers is what? Allah say, you see, the first thing Allah mentioned is what? Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaibi. We know that their iman made them to become what? Believers. And then he now went further to show their qualities. He said, wa yuqimuna salata. They established the prayer. There is a verse or a surah Allah named after the believers. Allah now began to describe the believers. He said, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. The believers are successful. Who are those ones? He said, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who are conscious of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in their salah. So we need to check how we connect with salah. Never go to bed without plan of when to wake up for subuh prayer. As righteous servants of Allah, allow your life to revolve around Allah. Don't allow your life to revolve around any other thing. If you allow your life to revolve around any other thing which is not Allah, you've wasted your life. And if your life revolves around Allah, you are one of the most successful people. And when I say your life revolving around Allah, that is your life, your ultimate concern should be Allah. Take for example, if they ask you, why did you take this job? Because it is halal. Why are you eating this food? Because it is what? Halal. Why did you marry? Because it is what? Halal. Why did you what? Forgive somebody? Because it is what? Commanded by Allah. Why are you looking for money? To use it to serve Allah. So if you are looking for anything for the sake of this world, you've wasted your time, because after getting it, you will leave it. So that means, what you are wasting your time for is not your own. I used to tell us something from time to time. You can never own anything in this world. Here, you can never own anything, including your body. That is the one here. You can own it, because time will come, Allah will take out something out of that body, then we will go and trash it. Yes, let me use a bit harsh words for you to understand. Yes, as I'm sitting down here now, yes, you are all calm listening to me. Your attention is here. Why? Because the soul is inside me. So the moment the soul goes, then you will not even want to sit with me anymore. Some of you become scared of the same body you are smiling with now. Yes, the same body you are smiling with now, you begin to be what? Be afraid of. Maybe as we used to see in some of those pranking people, or somebody appearing like a corpse, dead body, Abi. So when he now touched somebody, what happens? The person will start what? Running, Abi. Yes. That's it. So the moment Allah takes your soul out of your body, then nobody is going to ask you, how do you want us to do with your body anymore? We will decide what to do with it, where to go and keep it. If you struggle up and down, if your own ultimate concern is to build houses, buy houses, we have so many of our brothers that Allah wa ta'ala have given us as example. We have one of our brothers who died lately, maybe after opening his house in December, Abi, and he died. Huh? So he built a house, they say over how much billion? Huh? Yes. A chairman of a bank. Yes, he built a house of billions. So what happens now? He's not the owner of the house now. Somebody else is the owner. Yes. So if your own life is that your own reason for living life is to get that house, then you only suffered for other people. Yes, you built it and you did not spend 1 year inside. The car, you are disturbing yourself, before you know it becomes someone else's car. The office, you say my office, my office. What happened? You either resign and leave the office, or retire and leave the office, or your tenure expire and leave the office. But definitely, you can never own anything permanently. This life itself, the life in this world is a temporary life. So that is why anything you come close to, understand that Allah is only using that thing as a means for you to build your abode. But Allah did not bring that thing for you to hide, to keep it, and think you own it. So if you are smart, you use it and build your hereafter. If you are unwise, what happens? You either use it and build your hell, or you just keep it. It did not serve you anything. After you will go, and somebody else will come and what? And use it. Or if it is office, as we say, we have so many. And one of our fathers, His Excellency, former President Yar'Adua Abi, yes, he died in the office. So Allah took him out of the office. Yes, when you mention other ones, those ones, their own tenure expire and they left the office. And that's how everyone's own will come. So you can't own anything in this world. You can only make use of it and go. That's why Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala told us in the verse of the Quran that وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. He said, you are going to come back to us alone, that is empty-handed. The way we created you at the initial stage. Nobody came in with anything, and nobody is going back with anything. If they put you in a very expensive casket or expensive car and put you inside, dig ground and put you inside, you think you went with a car, Abi? You didn't go with anything. Your body itself is sand, so it will just decompose normal. And those things too that are put into the soil, they actually came out of the same place. Yes. What is used, everything used in manufacturing the car or casket or whatever, all of them came out of the same ground. None came from anywhere. So it's a question of you return everything back to where they are. That's why Allah wa ta'ala, even our own body, Allah told us in the verse of the Quran that what? Minha khalaqnakum. Out of the soil, we created you. وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ. Into it we are returning you. And you see, وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. And out of it we are going to resurrect you another time. So we need to take care of our salah. We shouldn't play with our salah. Shaitan will always give us excuses. Shaitan, sometimes when they close to time for adhan, you'll be feeling that sleep will be sweet. But when the salah finish, maybe sometime you pick the same phone and start checking Facebook, or start checking some of your WhatsApp messages. And once it's time for salah, you are what? You are tired, or your sleep is still disturbing you. So allow your life to revolve around Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. You say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And Allah says, out of what we provided them, they what? They spend. So if Allah enrich you, try to spend out of what Allah gave you judiciously. Use it in a decent way. Spend it on good things. Don't spend it on bad things. Because remember that whatever blessing Allah wa ta'ala bestows upon you, He is going to ask you about them. He says, if He gives you any good, He provides you wealth, spend it judiciously. He says, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are thankful to me, I will increase with my blessings. وَلَإِن كَفَرْتُمْ. If you are ungrateful, إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. Certainly my wrath is very, very severe. So if Allah wa ta'ala enrich you, try to spend out of what He provided you judiciously. By helping the needy, helping the orphans, taking care of the widows, taking care, like now we are in a very serious economic situation. People are hungry. If Allah gives you means, don't say you are waiting for government to solve the problem. You solve the problem you can solve and leave other people's responsibilities. So if they do, for lillahi alhamd. If they did not do, Allah will ask them on the day of judgment. But you, the little Allah gave you, do what you can. Take care of your family members. Take care of yourself. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And avoid spending out of whatever Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala gave you on what is not acceptable to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وإلى لقاء آخر إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.